What is up, everybody? We're rolling audio here today on episode 31 of The Hotter Show. How are you? How you doing? I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for clicking that play button on today's episode of the podcast. I am excited because today I am talking all about the Firehouse Youth Center's Battle of the Bands event that took place last Saturday. Very cool. Lot to talk about of the event. But before I get into that, I just want to give everyone a sincerest thank you for those who tuned in to the live cast. I think it went pretty darn well. Was really happy with the turnout. Those of you who really hung out in that, it was really fun, really cool. Great to see some familiar names and so forth. I definitely think I'm going to do that again. Let me know what you guys think. If you would like to see that again, definitely hit me up and let me know. As far as what we debuted, which was the t-shirt design, possibly for some Hotter Show t-shirts, be sure to let me know if you guys are interested in those t-shirts. I don't really have an exact number as far as what the cost would be. I would need to kind of do some shopping around first, but I just wanted to put it out there and see if there was anyone who would be interested in purchasing a Hotter Show t-shirt. All of the proceeds will be going directly into this show. I'm not taking any money to pay bills or anything. Any money I make off that, and it's not going to be a whole lot. Like, it's not like I'm looking to make a big profit or anything. All I'm really looking to do, guys, is if I can get a little bit of money going into the Hotter Show, I can potentially, maybe upgrade some of the equipment. I'm currently looking into, getting some basic computer equipment, so I can record the show a little easier than the way I am currently recording it, which is on my phone and everything, and then I gotta do it in 10-minute intervals and take it off this and put it on the computer and put it all together. It would just make life a little bit easier. So that's all I'm really trying to do with this, guys. And at the same time, I want to spread the word of the Hotter Show, and I think a t-shirt is a great way to do that. A lot of people really dig in the design, so definitely hit me up and let me know if you would like one. The price as of right now, like I said, I don't really have a price, but I figure it's probably going to be in the $15, $20 range. If it's $15, right on. If it's $20, basically I can guarantee you I'm probably playing about $17, $16 for the t-shirts. So, gotta at least cover my cost on that there. But I will let you guys know the second I do if I decide to go through with this. Let me know if you want a t-shirt and potentially what size you would want, and I will see if I can make that happen. With all that aside, I just want to kick right into this here, talking about the Battle of the Bands. So we're just going to go ahead and head into this here. I'm going to talk about each separate band of the night. I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about my first time in that at the Battle of the Bands and stuff. So definitely think we're going to have a lot of fun on this podcast. Let's do it. Last Saturday was Clarington Firehouse Youth Center's annual Battle of the Bands event at the Garner Big B Rickard Arena. I'm sure I just said that wrong, but whatever, we're rolling with it. And basically, if you guys aren't familiar with the event, basically what it is it's an event that's put on by the Youth Center, all organized by them and everything, and as well as quite a few sponsors. And basically, they all get together at the arena, and they just host this really awesome Battle of the Bands for youth bands. They don't really have a set number of bands. There's no real requirements. Any bands can enter, so long as obviously they are a band. They do have the Mics on Fire event as well. That is more for solo artists and kind of acoustic performers and things of that nature, more for solo artists, whereas the Battle of the Bands event is pretty much strictly for your classic bands, rock bands, metal bands, punk bands, indie folk bands, psychedelic rock bands, the whole nine yards. Over the past 3 years, I've been involved with the event, or I've been at the event in some capacity. Obviously, the first year, I was there as a sponsor with Gigs Music, and I had a great time that year. It was the first time I got to see bands like Out of My League perform. Who else was there? Obviously, Outshined. That was very cool. That was the year the first year they headlined after they won the year before. I am forgetting a bunch of bands, and I'm so sorry, guys. Bands like Circle of Circles, who I've seen now for 3 times. Guys, I apologize. I cannot remember who played that first year. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's a really cool event. The first time I was there, the first time that I met Chris, who's the gentleman who runs the youth center and puts a lot of these events together and stuff. It's a really, really cool event. And the Firehouse Youth Center itself is an awesome center. It's just an after-school youth program for youths anywhere from ages 12 to 19. It's all done by the John Howard Society of Durham Region. So if anyone is interested in maybe checking it out or anything of that nature, you can always contact the John Howard Society, or you can find them on the web just at www.thefirehouse.ca for more information on that. They do all sorts of cool stuff. Sometimes they'll actually have concerts as well in the actual Firehouse. So very, very cool. Chris, the gentleman who runs it, is a wonderful, wonderful human being. Such a great guy. The first year that he invited Gigs to be involved with the event, I had so much fun. That first year, I was kind of there myself, and I didn't really know anyone. It was kind of, in a way, almost awkward, I guess. And Chris really went out of his way to make sure I was, welcomed and doing good and everything. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. And the second year, which was last year's Battle of the Bands, that was more the year before. Gigs was a sponsor, but it was kind of I feel like it was more like a last minute decision. Whereas last year, it was very planned out. I knew exactly what we were going to do. I kind of was thinking of being a judge, but then I kind of backed out, and I heard that the guys from Outshine were going to be judges. So I was like, you know what? I think that makes a lot more sense to have, an actual local band who has won the event be judges. I thought that was such a cool thing. And technically Brandon works for Gigs Music, or worked for Gigs Music at the time. So it made perfect sense for him to do that. And Chris was cool with it. And he said, "Oh, well, we'll get you next year." I said, yeah, for sure. I'll be there. And then, of course, everything that happened. So kind of funny how that turns out. But that event was killer. That was the first time I got to see a lot of bands: Fear the Unknown, Beyond the Wall, Surf Cactus, Circle of Circles again, Chasing Shadows. My memory is terrible. I cannot remember any of the other bands. Guys, I apologize that I cannot remember you. It's nothing personal. I just, my memory is terrible. But it was a really awesome event. Fear the Unknown ended up winning our prize, so that was very cool. Obviously, having the two guitar players in Fear the Unknown being pretty regular customers. Obviously, Mav and Cody. Shout out to those guys. And then, of course, Adam, the bass player, who he came in a few times. But very, very cool. Chasing Shadows ended up winning that year. Excuse me. No, they didn't. What am I saying? They won the year before. Sorry about that, guys. I'm a little tired today. But that was the year that Out of My League won as well. And I don't know if I've actually fully talked about this on the podcast, but just real quick, I'll kind of tell the story before I kind of get into the main focal point of this podcast here today, which is talk about this year's Battle of the Bands. I'll just that last year, both Out of My League and Fear the Unknown played, and they both were just amazing, and all the bands were great. It was really close as to who was going to win. It was either basically going to be Fear the Unknown or Out of My League were going to win. Like, we kind of through process of elimination, and I'm sitting there, like, just, oh my god, and then Chris announces that Fear the Unknown wins second place, which means that they won the Gigs Music gift card. So I was freaking out. I'm like, yes, yes. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then everyone starts freaking out, like absolutely freaking out. And he's just like, well, by process of elimination, I think we all know who wins this year's Battle of the Bands, Out of My League. And I was like on the floor. I couldn't do it. Like, just, I was like, what? No! Like, I was just losing it. It was a glorious evening for the Bowmanville metal scene. Very, very cool. It's still a night I fondly remember. It was also the night I ripped my pants because Out of My League kicked my ass so hard, but I've told that story on the podcast before. So pretty funny, pretty entertaining. It was very cool of Out of My League to come back this past year and perform, as well as Tony, Mr. Anthony, be a judge this year. But very, very cool stuff. The Battle of the Bands event is something that always happens around this time of year, every year. I highly, highly, highly suggest you guys kind of keep an eye out for it next year if you missed it this year. It's always an awesome event. All of the proceeds go to the Firehouse Youth Center. It is worth every single cent to see this event. Like, this past year, the price of admission got you in to see all these awesome bands that I would have paid the ticket price just to see any of them by themselves, honestly. Like, there was not one single band that was not worth the price of admission. This past year was, it was the best year I think that they've had for sure. As far as talent is concerned, it was just amazing. And not like the last years weren't good by any means, just this year was, like, you know, like, people are going to say that, you know, like, oh, this is the best year we've ever had. But, like, in all seriousness, that was the best year they ever had. Like, it was great. It was absolutely great. All the bands should be very proud of themselves. But, as far as all the sponsors and that, obviously I wish that Gigs Music was still around to be a sponsor. Or that I could somehow help out in sponsorship, but unfortunately, I'm not in that. I am not in that position anymore. So it is what it is. Lon McQuaid's always a big sponsor. I know Hands On Music in Bonneville's been a sponsor, RBC. So thank you to all the sponsors in that. Big shout out to Chris again and everyone over at the Firehouse Youth Center for making that event happen. It was great. I had so much fun. All the years I've gone, I will definitely be back next year. Don't know if I'll be a judge again. I enjoyed being a judge. It was a lot of fun. But I find myself personally, like, I'm not very critical of bands. I don't know if it's just like, cause I suck or what the deal is, but I was sitting there, especially if it's a band I know, you know, like, I'm sitting there watching Fear the Unknown play and I'm like, okay, oh yes, this one riff is a little off. And it's like, what the I can't, like, you know, like, as a judge, we had to basically look at, the musicianship obviously was important. How entertaining were they? How into it was the crowd? How was their showmanship? Did they stick to their set list? Like, did they have a good set list? Did they stick to the set time very well? All those things were taken into consideration for the top 5 bands. And this year was so hard. And Chris even told me that. He's like, dude, this year's going to be really hard. And I knew it was going to be difficult, but I mean, it weighed on me. I was like, damn, like, this is hard. Especially given that there were a lot of bands this year that had members that I know. You know, you got Hometown Heroes. The bassist Zach used to be a student at the shop for like 3 years. Forsaken Empire, obviously. Michael. You got Fear the Unknown, obviously. Beyond the Wall. You know, there's bands that like I just know. Stop This Train. Emilio. He used to be a student at the store as well. Like, yeah, so it was hard. It did kind of weigh heavy on me. But I kind of gave myself a little bit of too much unnecessary stress. I wasn't really stressed, but it was like, you know, I was like, oh man, like I just want all these bands to win, you know. All of you should have won, in my opinion, really. But all that aside, I definitely will be there again. I don't think I ever want to miss one because I enjoy them so much. But being able to just kind of hang out and watch and really enjoy it and talk to the bands after, I think I enjoyed that a little bit more. If I told Chris, I said, "Hey man, if you need me to be a judge again, I mean, I'll do it and I'll be happy to do it." But I think that given that I'm not really involved with the business, quote unquote, so to speak, anymore, I think I would just enjoy to be there just as a fan, you know. As a fan, maybe we can look into setting up a podcast or something for that next year. I don't know. I kind of joked about that with a few of the bands, and they were like, "Dude, do it." You know, I can interview some bands before and stuff and after, and it could be a really cool thing. But there are definitely a whole whack of people that I am going to get on the podcast who I spoke with that night. Some guys that I don't know in bands that I would even love to talk with, you know, just because I thought they were great. But the main point of what I wanted to do today here, guys, is as I was watching the band, listening to the bands, I wanted to talk a little bit about each band and what I thought of their set, what I thought about them, basically, just for lack of a better term. It's nothing like critical and negative or anything of that nature. I don't feel like there's any point in me talking about anything of that nature, because that's not what I do. I tend to lean very positive. I really enjoyed all of the bands. Even if they weren't really my style, I enjoyed them. At the end of the night, when I announced the winner, in probably the most awkward, 10-15 seconds of my life, I said, "Oh, I got to say something very articulate and be all intelligent." And I was kind of like, "Hey, so like, all you are awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, this year's winner is this band." And it was like, I could tell out of the corner of my eye, I could see Chris looking at me. He's just kind of like, "The hell was that? Like, you're usually more articulate than that." So I don't know what happened. I don't know if I had a brain fart or what. Maybe it was stage fright. I don't know. I don't usually get. I usually don't have a problem talking in front of big crowds, but apparently I did that night. But it was very cool. Obviously, the top 5 of the evening. I'll kind of get that out of the way now. Starting with number 5, we had We Are X, who are awesome. I'll just give as far as the top 5 placing bands, and then I'll talk about all the bands and all that kind of thing. But We Are X came in at number 5. They were very awesome. They were also the last band of the night as far as who were competing. So very, very cool. I was glad to see them kind of still kicking, because they were kind of quiet for a little while, and I was worried because they're such a great band. Lee and his brother, whose name is escaping me right now, I feel like a dick. They're like very entertaining, and they're both so talented. It's crazy, and they got a new drummer, and she's awesome. And they had new guitar player as well, very, very cool. Right around near the end, I was trying really, really hard to pay attention, but after I kind of gave my scorings, I was getting ready to kind of start duking it with the other judges, and Lee came running off the stage, and it was cool. But I'll talk about that in one little bit. But number 4, coming in at 4th place, was Stop This Train, who were awesome. Definitely. I don't want to say the most unique band of the night, but most of the other bands were at least rock oriented, like rock punk oriented in some way, alternative, whereas Stop This Train are very, indie folk alternative kind of. So it was really cool. I know that a couple of the judges were very, very impressed with them. One in particular, he just was in love with them. And number 3 went to Forsaken Empire, who it was much deserved. Very, very awesome band, especially considering they haven't been a band all that long. They are very, very good. They were entertaining. You could tell they were having fun. That was a lot of my thing. I found when I was watching bands. Like, I'm sitting there going, okay, like they look like they're having an absolute blast. And it's contagious, just because they may not be doing shredding guitar solos doesn't necessarily mean they're not a great band. If I feel something, that's more what I was looking for. And I mean, in some way, shape, or form, all of the bands gave that to me. So again, this was impossible for me, but you could really tell with especially the placing bands, like they really were having a great time. And Forsaken Empire did that. Just the co-vocals and all that, it was awesome. It was great to see Michael kind of come up on stage there, and I kind of like had to stop myself because I kept like going in for the hug, the quick bro hug with all the people I knew, and like I was like, I can't do that. I have to like keep it professional. And it was really cool to see that. Every time I saw someone I knew who was in a band, like I was like, oh, what's up? And I wanted to like talk to them, but like I kind of had to, keep focused in that. So I apologize to anyone if I blew any of you off. I think everyone I saw who came up to me, I ended up seeing again in the night. I'm pretty sure. If there was anyone I did not, I sincerely apologize. It does not mean anything. I just literally, if there was a band playing or something, I couldn't hear anything to begin with if someone was talking to me because I'm so deaf. But I really had to make sure I stay focused and give every single band as my full undivided attention. So again, quickly, I apologize to anyone if they were kind of like, man, TJ was a dick and kind of blew me off. That's not at all what I was going for. But moving on with number 2, we had, of course, Fear of the Unknown, took second place. I can tell you guys this, the first and second place were like very, very close. Like it was close. Fear of the Unknown ended up taking home second. Much, much deserved. I mean, it could have gone either way. For me personally, if it had come down to me, I could not have made a decision straight up. Like, I just would have been like, nope, not doing it. See you later. Bye, Chris. I'm not judging anymore. Because it just, it was hard. But it was awesome. Their set was great. And then, of course, Beyond the Wall ended up taking first place, which was awesome. It was great to see those guys get the recognition they deserved. I don't even think they placed the year before for some reason. So it was really cool to see that. They were just entertaining as hell, but I will get to them again a little later. So those were the top 5 of the night. Literally, again, I cannot stress this enough. Every single band that performed, they deserved to be in a spot. Like, it was hard, I tried to make a list of all the bands in a certain order, and I mean, I couldn't even do it. I was just like, dude, like, there was no bad bands, not like there has been in prior years, but just, it was very hard this year. When I said that up on stage, I really meant that. Like, everyone needed to give themselves a round of applause as much as possible, because it was just, it was really amazing. Myself and the other judges, Anthony and Eric from Bohemian Grove, very cool band, check them out. And then the other gentleman, whose name is escaping me, I feel like a dick, nice guy. He was also representing, I think, Ribfest, so he was looking for bands for that. But I know that we all had a really hard time as well. So if there are any bands that I discouraged anything, please do not be discouraged, because Seriously, all you guys did awesome, and I'm going to highlight all of that right now for each band, kind of going in order of the evening. So I'm just going to kind of dive into it here. All right, so the first band of the night was Hometown Heroes. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Hometown Heroes is a pop punk band from Bowmanville. And they were very, very awesome. I've seen these guys live now 3 times, I think, 3 times. Twice with their current lineup, and then once before with their old lineup. I saw them not all that long ago at the Firehouse show they did without Shine and Crane. Actually, I say it was not that long ago. It was probably a few months ago now. But I saw them then, and they were really awesome. They played a great set. But them from then to now, that last Saturday there, it was incredible. Like, the second they took the stage, I went, okay. I mean, right off the bat, you got Zach, who is the bass player for Hometown Heroes. He was a former student of the shop. I got to know pretty good over the course of 3 years. So I mean, obviously, it was great to see him. The drummer Mason was another guy I kind of saw quite a bit. So it was great to see those two. But right off the bat, they kicked into the first song, which was an original song, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's called Bullet, Pull the Trigger, Bullet in the Head, something like that. I think it's Pull the Trigger. I apologize, guys, if I'm getting that wrong. I try to take notes of everything, of some things I wanted to kind of comment on for each band and everything, but I missed that. But the vocalist Jake, he really stepped up his game from the last time I saw them, like I said. And it's not like they were even remotely bad last time. They were great last time. And when I say step up his game, basically what I mean is just last time I saw them, like, he was good. Everything was really on point. But like his energy with his vocals was just a little bit better, and like just he's really kind of taken the whole frontman thing, and he's really grown into that, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And it was really, really cool. Their lead guitarist James, who I think when I saw them a few months ago, he was pretty new. I think from what I remember, he had some really, really cool moments. I apologize if that is not his name. I tried to remember everyone's name and everything, but I'm horrible with names. He had a really cool few kind of ripping rock and roll lead parts for some of their original stuff, which was really, really cool. It really kind of added kind of a more rock spin on kind of dirty rock and roll spin on their kind of pop punk sound, and I really dug that. He's a really good player, and it just kind of brought this really cool vibe to the whole thing. Obviously, Mason and Zach, they held down the rhythm section perfectly. I mean, those two guys are as in sync as you possibly can be, seeing as anytime I tend to see them there together. So I mean, I guess you could say when you're friends with people in a band, you always play better. But they, as a whole, they did great. I believe they mentioned they're going to be working on some recordings soon, so that's really, really cool. I'll be looking forward to that. It was their second time playing Battle of the Bands, I think. And they were really great. There's not really much else to say. It was great seeing Zach again. I think Zach and I kind of chatted a little bit, and I think I'm going to have him on the podcast at some point. I don't really know the other guys as well as I know Zach, obviously, but it was definitely cool seeing them. They did really awesome. It was great to see them kind of bring in a little bit more of a diversity to this year's Battle of the Bands. Because I know before it was kind of more of a rock and metal kind of deal. So it was really, really cool that they were able to bring it this year, that they did so awesome. So the night definitely started off on a high note with them. Absolutely. you can definitely check them out. You can find them on Facebook. Just search Hometown Heroes. They should pop right up. I'm going to link all the bands in my list here when I post this. So hopefully you can find them. Definitely give them a like, follow them, check them out. They're very awesome, and they're good guys. So that was the first band of the night. And the next band of the night... was Forsaken Empire. Now, Forsaken Empire, it's kind of funny actually. A lot of the first few bands, they actually had members that like I knew quite well, or a couple of them who were former students at the shop. So it was kind of funny to see how that worked out. But Forsaken Empire, they ended up taking home the third place prize. And they very much deserved it. They were awesome. They played an awesome set. They played a couple Green Day covers that were really, really good. It really impressed the other judges. Michael, who is the former student of Gigs Music, he handled vocal duties for most of the set. And was awesome. His rhythm tone was very good, and I'm definitely going to have Michael on the podcast at some point, and I'm going to have him explain his rig, because he explained it to me, and he has a very interesting rig, and it gives him a very cool, unique rhythm tone. But he handled the vocal duties for most of the set, and then there was the one song, I don't remember what song it was, I feel like a jerk, and it was I know it was a Green Day song. I tried really hard to remember, but there's just song titles and things like that have escaped me. But the co-guitarist, I guess the lead guitarist, Evan, who I don't think I really got a chance to have a chat with at all, but seems like a good guy, definitely a good player. He took over vocal duties for that song, and he did really well. And that's one thing for me personally. I think it's the Alice in Chains influence on me. I love bands with co-vocalists, and there was a lot of bands like that on this evening. So just having two people in a band that potentially could be either the front man or the lead vocalist is never a bad thing if you do it properly. There's even a couple harmony parts which are really great, and Derek's playing, not Derek, Evan's playing was also really on point. So hey, it's good to have a few members of the band who are talented, and I know he was pretty psyched that they won third place. I mean, they all were, of course, but he was. I know he was pretty stoked walking up onto the stage, so that was really cool. Chase and Derek, the rhythm section. Chase being the bass player and Derek being the drummer. And I apologize, guys, if I'm getting any names wrong or anything. I know Michael and I know Chase. But Evan and Derek, I don't think we got to really chat. But Chase and Derek really held down the rhythm section for the entire set. Really did a great job. Even though Forsaken Empire are a new band, I think they've been around for 4 or 5 months, maybe. As far as actually playing shows, I think it's been about 4 months. They did absolutely awesome. Not really much else can be said for it. They just did great, considering that, especially they have not been around for a long time. They show so much potential, and I am so excited for the future of this band. I really am. They actually just announced, just yesterday actually, as I record this, they announced that they're going to be selling some t-shirts, doing some pre-orders for some t-shirts. So definitely go check them out right this second on Facebook. You can get the pre-order. You can contact them. They're really awesome shirts. They have the logo on the front. It's a really cool logo design, and then on the back they have a saying. Really awesome. You can also find Michael on SoundCloud. He has some tracks up there, a cover of Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here," which you heard right here on the Hotto Show on episode 24. I played that there, really great. They also have a full band cover of "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked" by Cage the Elephant, which was awesome. Definitely check that out. They also have a video for it, so very, very cool stuff from them. I will be thoroughly looking forward to hearing hopefully some original compilations soon. And I'll be very much looking forward to having Michael on the podcast at some point. Not sure when that's going to happen. But we definitely will have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So definitely look forward to that. And all I have left to say is long live the Empire. But moving on with the evening here, at this point, I was pretty comfortable. You know, I kind of gotten into the groove of things, and I'm hanging out. I was having some water, and I was sitting next to Anthony, obviously, who from out of my league, who was a judge. If I didn't mention that earlier, I think I did, but and he was like, "Man, this has been a really, really great set so far." And the next band, I knew they were going to be awesome, but I wasn't really sure what to expect because I hadn't heard them before, and I hadn't really heard anything much of them as far as live tracks and things of that nature. But they blew me away, and they were definitely one of the more unique bands of the evening. And that band is Stop This Train, who are an indie folk band from Bowmanville. They were very, very cool. Like I said, you know, being an indie style folk band, they kind of really brought this cool vibe to the night. The lead vocalist, Naya, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. And the co-vocalist Timothy, they were really awesome together. They created some absolutely beautiful harmonies. I was really blown away at the level of talent out of both of them. I mean, both of them could easily be fronting the band. They did exceptionally well together. Really, really, really cannot emphasize that enough. Just blew me away. And I know Eric, who was one of the judges there, he really liked them. He was really impressed with them. And Timothy also, he played electric guitar for their set, and he did great. He has this really nice kind of strat tone. Didn't go too crazy or anything, like his couple leads and that, and they were really, really good. He shares the guitar duties with a former student of gigs music, Emilio, who was another student of gigs I got to know pretty good over the course of time as well. He took lessons, so it's really awesome seeing him again. Emilio handles the acoustic side of things while Timothy plays the electric, and they trade off leads a little bit, and you know, a couple times Emilio kind of took a cool, like, bluesy kind of, I can't even explain it, like, just, I'm sitting there kind of grooving to what he was doing, but seeing how they were trading off on that, it showed that their synchronization is really, really perfect. I was really, really impressed with them on guitar, and it does take quite a bit to impress me on guitar. Not because I am some kind of guitar god or anything, I actually suck, but because I know so many great musicians, it really takes a lot to impress me, and they really, really blew me away. The keyboardist, Jordan, I hope I am getting everyone's names right and everything here. Again, I apologize if I'm not. I'm going to be apologizing for that a lot in this podcast. But the keyboardist, Jordan, he had a lot of really cool parts. I found about halfway through the set, I couldn't really hear him as much, but that has nothing to do with him. But from what I heard of him, he had some really nice parts that he put in that just, everything he did, it was just, he was adding like ambience to everything that was going on, and it was really, really cool. The drummer, and again, guys, I apologize for not pronouncing names right or anything, Josiah, I apologize if I'm butchering this. His skill level on the drums was phenomenal. He kept the train. Get it? Train. He kept the train because there's Stop This Train. All right. He kept the train moving forward the whole set. Everything he did, it was perfect. Perfect little accents. He didn't go out of his way to play like really, really technical, impressive stuff, and it was very cool. But in doing that, he definitely showed that he's got some serious chops. He was definitely one of the best drummers of the night. I believe one of the judges thought he was the best drummer of the night. So that's really cool. He did awesome. As a whole, they really impressed the judges. I keep saying judges like I'm not a judge, and so it's kind of funny. They ended up taking home 4th place, and much deserved. Their cover of "Ain't No Sunshine" was jaw dropping. It really blew me away. The arrangement they have for it was a little more moodier, kind of, brought it down a little bit, and it was really cool. And then their one original song, "This Love," I believe it's entitled. It was a beautiful, very heartfelt song. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait for them to have kind of a recorded version of that and release it, because that's really cool. I really dug it. You can definitely check them out on the web at stopthistrain.com. They're an awesome band. If you're a fan of music in general, you'll like these guys. Even if you're not necessarily a fan of indie or folk, it doesn't matter, because you'll like these guys because they're just insanely talented. Every single one of them individually is extremely talented and could probably do this on their own. But the fact that they have joined together in a group is crazy. Maybe I will get Emilio on the show sometime. I know he's a busy guy with his masterful guitar classes and so forth. But maybe I'll make that happen. It'd be great to talk to him. But until then, I will definitely keep my eyes peeled for more from them, and I'll be sure to share it with you guys. Definitely check them out on the web. Again, the website is stopthistrain.com. And check them out on Facebook as well. Stop.this.train. And again, I will be tagging them in this and everything, so you can always just follow the link there. But the next band of the night, kind of a veteran band of the Battle of the Bands rotation. When I initially got the call from Chris to be a judge, it was kind of an unexpected call actually, but one thing I asked, I said, who are all the bands playing? And he said, he's listing off some bands, and I asked, I said, hey, is Circle of Circles playing? He said, yeah, they'll be there. I said, right on, because I always really enjoy their set. I know last year they played a King Crimson song, 21st Century Schizoid Man or something like that. Like, really ballsy move playing that track, and they really impressed me last year. I was like, damn, that was really cool. They played Hotel California, it was really cool. So I always look forward to their set because I'm a big fan of kind of prog rock. So as always, they had just an incredibly solid performance. The musicianship in that band is great. I apologize if I get names wrong and everything. I try really hard here, but sometimes I get my facts wrong. Emerson, I believe is the guitarist and vocalist. I think Mr. Brandon Hastings from Outshine actually mentioned him in his podcast, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately, the last couple of years, he's had technical difficulties during their set, which sucks. Not much that he can do about that. But it didn't slow them down. They did an awesome version of Purple Haze, and he friggin' nails the solo. Like, right before the solo, his guitar kind of started cutting out, and I was like, oh no, and he kicked back in like right in time and just nailed it. It was great. Really awesome. Jimmy would be proud. And there was a massive drum solo from their drummer, Jeremy. Again, I apologize if I'm mixing up names and whatever. But he had this awesome drum solo. It was definitely one of the highlights of the night, I would say. There was a lot of highlights, but having him just kind of take that like drum solo, and then it was like, you think he's going to be done, and nope, I got more. And it was really fun. Emerson, and then the bass player, Alex, again, for like the 30th time, I apologize if I'm getting names mixed up. they played rock paper scissors. Like it was just good. Like it was funny. I really enjoyed that. That made me laugh. It showed me that they have a sense of humor. And just the bass player Alex, like he was definitely one of the best bass players of the night. He just, that guy's groove and the way he just kind of hangs out in the pocket. Like he can go crazy and do all that stuff, but he just kind of chilled and kept the groove, and it was awesome. You can tell that there's an awful lot of skill in that band. I mean, their set list showed it. Really, really cool. I would love to see some original compilations from this band, because I feel like they would be awesome. Because I dig the prog. Unfortunately, prog music and prog rock and that isn't extremely popular with the masses, but who cares? Love what you love, play what you play, and don't care what anyone else thinks. I personally would love to see that one day, maybe. But until then, you can keep up with everything related to Circle of Circles on their Facebook. You just type in Circle of Circles, or like I said, I'm going to tag them in this so you can just follow the link there. Very, very good, awesome band. Like I said, maybe hopefully we'll see some original compilations from them one day. But until then, they'll just keep rocking and rolling, doing their thing. Now, the next band is definitely the most unique band. I don't know what the hell dank core is, but I like it. So, whatever. The next band is Surf Cactus. These guys, if there was like a creative song name award, they'd win it all the time. Because they have some very creative song names. Definitely one of the most entertaining bands of the night. The onstage banner, their music. I almost feel like Surf Cactus, like they go up. The one guitar player, Julian, I believe his name is. I apologize if I'm getting that mixed up, but he came and said hello to the judges and everything, and really professional guy, but gets up on stage and just loses it in a good way. Like, it was really, really fun. The lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist, Jake, really held it down. Obviously, lead guitarist, Julian. They had some wicked riffs and leads. They were extremely, extremely entertaining. I mean, that's one thing you really look for. There was also some tunes they played that I actually really dug. I missed the names of the songs. Unfortunately, sometimes when the bands are talking, it was a little hard to kind of make out everything they were saying unless you really, really paid attention. And there's so much noise going on and stuff. It was a little hard to do so, but they definitely showed some serious skills on the strings, especially Julian. Like, there was times where he really was playing some intricate stuff. And I know a couple of the sound guys were commenting on that too. There's like, man, like, he's really got some skill. Like, not like surprisingly or anything, just given their style and their kind of fun, energetic performance. Like, but then he'd kind of cut back and really play some intricate stuff. It was really, really cool to see. Last time I saw them, I think it was last year's Battle of the Bands, actually. Again, like some of the other bands, a year ago to now, like, completely light years better, and they were awesome to begin with. So I think they've just kind of maybe found their sound a little bit more. And it's a very cool, unique sound, and I dig it. But their bassist, Julian... That's gotta get friggin' confusing if I'm saying all this properly. And their drummer Nathan, they really held everything together and kept everything running smoothly in the somewhat controlled chaos of their live show. There was definitely a few times where I was like, "Holy crap! How are you keeping this all so tight and together?" Like, oh man, I think to the untrained ear at times they may have been like, whoa, like what is going on? But that's the point. I know Chris says, he always says about Surf Cactus, he's like, oh, this is definitely one of the most creative bands. Like, if if there was an award for most creative names, and that they definitely win. Really, really awesome band. Be sure to check them out on their Bandcamp and on Facebook. Like I said, I'm going to link their name and everything, so you can find their Bandcamp on their Facebook. Really, really cool. I know they have some original compilations on their Bandcamp, so definitely check them out, support them. Really, really awesome band. Now, there was a little bit of a break, actually, after Surf Cactus. From what I understand, there was a band that kind of cut out, so we just had to have about a 10-minute break. And after Surf Cactus, we needed it. My mind was a little blown. I was like, holy crap, I need to get my head together here. Especially knowing that the next band was gonna knock my socks off. I really wanted to kind of take a break, stretch my legs and that. And I got to walk around and talk to some people. It was really cool seeing everybody. Got to catch up with some of the out of my league guys I haven't seen in a while. Always good. Got to talk to all the peoples. I had some people come up to me who were, just people who used to come into the shop all the time, and that was really, really fun to see everyone. But after we had our little break, we got back into it with Beyond the Wall. Now, I've talked about Beyond the Wall on the podcast before. As some of you may or may not know, I'm not a big punk rock guy. Let me explain. As far as like standard punk rock, I can kind of take it or leave it. I'm not really a big fan of it. That being said, the first time I heard Beyond the Wall, who are a punk rock band, I immediately liked them. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Actually, I can tell you exactly what it was. I don't even know what I'm saying. Beyond the Wall are without a doubt one of the funnest bands you will ever see live. And that's because they are having so much fun on stage. You watch those guys do their thing and you're just like, I want to like these. Like I want to join their band and run around and play guitar and make funny faces and stuff. Like it's just fun. And aside from all that, they're up there having fun and have fun banter and kind of talk shit to each other and that kind of thing and really talk to the audience. On top of all that and being really fun and entertaining and having a blast, there's musicianship in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was tricky being a judge when it's a band that and respect and like so much, and all the guys in Beyond the Wall are awesome. Each one of them will be on the podcast at some point, I'm sure, just because they're such great guys and they're so entertaining. Obviously, heading into this as a judge, I had to make sure I had kind of a clean slate and that I was completely unbiased, and I give you all my word that I was. I went in there with my checklist, and I was going to go, all right, Beyond the Wall, I'm going to be critical as hell. And there was nothing to be critical of. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to talk about anything like that on the podcast, but from the moment Beyond the Wall took the stage, from the moment they got off, I was just like, that was the funnest performance of the night. And I'm not the only one who thought that. After each performance, I kind of took a quick walk around to see what some people thought just in passing, and everyone said the same thing. They were just like, oh my God, like that was so fun. Like, what just happened? Like, it was great. Obviously, they're entertaining as hell dudes. But like I said, there's also musicianship in there. They played a lot of their original songs, and they played a very, very cool cover of Good Riddance by Green Day, kind of like a faster version. The crowd was singing along. It was really, really fun. Their one original song they ended off with, Waste Your Time With Me. It will get stuck in your head. I promise. I know that, again, just from walking around in that, a lot of people were like, with a loser like me, with a loser like me. They're walking around singing the song that it was just playing. And I said, that's it. Like, that song is great, which is why their vocalist, guitar player, Corey, gave me a shout out. It was not him kissing ass to me or anything. It was literally, he was just like, yo, TJ, this is for you, because I know this song's going to be stuck in your head after this. Because there is at least once a day where I find myself literally singing that song. Whether it's the verse or the I only see you once or twice, it's in my head forever. It's never going to leave. So Beyond the Wall will always hold a very special place in my heart due to that. But the vocalist and guitarist Corey, he really, really just entertaining as hell. His vocals were on point as always. He's kind of got a cool thing going. Some people have said to me, like, he kind of sounds like if you took like Green Day and like Blink-182 and all these other pop punk bands and put them together, you kind of get him. And I'm like, well, I think he sounds like Corey. I don't know. He sounds like Corey Core. That's just his, that's what he sounds like. But at the same time, he's jumping around and he's entertaining and he's being a frontman and everything. And then on top of all that, you look at what he's doing on guitar. And he's got riffs, man. He's got riffs and he's got hooks, and it's awesome. Having Beyond the Wall play acoustically at Gigs Music right before we closed, I really got to see their set. I mean, obviously stripped down. So I really got to see the actual real musicianship in that band. And I mean, all those dudes are talented as hell. I don't think they really get enough credit for actually being as talented as they are. So I try to give them as much credit for that as possible. I mean, obviously they get tons of credit for being entertaining and fun and blah, 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 blah. But there's musicianship in there. Obviously not to be outdone, the other vocalist and bassist, John Ward. Last time I saw them, they were awesome. They were killer. I love Beyond the Wall. I said to John afterwards, I'm like, dude, like, you brought it tonight. He's just kind of like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what it was, just they were on. And John, John and Corey, like, there's certain songs John will sing and sometimes Corey will sing, and they'll harmonize, and they always sound really great together. And John really, really brought it, and his bass playing is friggin' phenomenal. Like, I don't think I ever really realized just how good it is until I really paid attention and was actually trying to be critical of it. I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm going to judge John's bass playing. And I'm sitting there, he's like, he's in the groove and he's right in the pocket and he's killing it. I'm like, shit, like, all these people are going to be mad at me because, like, I can't even say anything critical about this band, and I'm supposed to because I'm a judge. The rhythm section of John Ward and friggin' Ed is just awesome. It's one of my favorite rhythm sections in the local scene because those two dudes, they just keep it together. And John's also a great guitar player, if you've ever seen them acoustically. So, I mean, it's really, really cool. One reason I think that Beyond the Wall ended up taking home first place for the evening. One thing that a lot of people were saying after their set was that friggin' drummer looked like he was literally having like the best moments of his life on stage. And I was like, yeah, like that's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, they all did, but so many people, the one judge, he was a drummer. He said to me after the set, he says, that drummer, yeah, the happy drummer. Yeah. I thought he was going to like talk shit or something. I was like, hell, you don't talk shit, And he's like, how can he be so energetic, play as good and as tight as he does, and make goofy faces? He's like, I can't even play like that. Like, he's like, how does he do it? I'm just like, that's Beyond the Wall, dude. I don't know what to tell you. And he's just like, damn. So, Beyond the Wall definitely deserved to take home first place. Like I've said 100 times in this podcast, it was all so close, but it was the feeling that everyone got, not just the judges, but everyone who was there. The feeling everyone got while Beyond the Wall was playing. It was this contagious feeling that was just awesome. I can't even explain it. Those dudes they have that contagious happiness and fun-loving attitude that just comes off on stage, and it's just wonderful. So in the end, I think that really played a massive part in them taking home first place. But you can check Beyond the Wall out on their Bandcamp and on Facebook. Once again, I will be tagging them and everything, so they will not be hard to find. But that is Beyond the Wall. Congratulations to those guys again for the much-deserved first place, and I will definitely have them on the podcast at some point. Maybe I'll have all of them on at once. I don't know. I feel like that would be just way too entertaining. Like, I feel like that's too much for one podcast. I feel like I would need like an 8-parter podcast if I had all three of them on at once. So maybe we'll do one at a time. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But moving right along, we had another band that was definitely a unique band. These guys, after their set, I kind of grabbed their singer and I was like, oh, dude, like, you guys are really sick. Like, I really dug your style. And he was like, yeah, thanks, man. He was a really cool guy. And he's like, yeah, like, we've only been a band for like, I think he said 4 months, 6 months. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, our drummer's been in the band for like 2 weeks. I was like, what? Like, just insane. This band is the Inside Outs. And I wasn't really sure what to expect of them because we had this little sheet that had like the set list and everything and who was going on when and blah, 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 blah. And we had all the genres. And they're put down as like trippy psychedelic rock. So I went, okay. I don't know what to expect from that, you know? I mean, hey, I like trippy rock and roll, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't sure what to expect. And they walked on stage and I'm like, like, okay, cool. And just right off the bat, the fact that these guys, taking into consideration the fact that these guys haven't been in a band all that long, and that their drummer has only been in the band for like 2 weeks or 4 weeks, apparently. I could be getting those facts wrong. I apologize if I am, guys, but they were incredibly tight. Really, really tight, especially for their style. Like, it's kind of this groovy kind of, I was grooving the whole time they were playing. It was really, really cool. The bassist vocalist Jackson, again, I apologize if I'm getting names mixed up or anything. He just held this steady groove. You know, he didn't do a lot of fancy stuff or anything. He just held a groove, and his vocal style, he was really, like, each song he was really telling a story, and his cadence of the way he does his vocals, it's really smooth and just he has this like this swagger about him almost in a good way. Like, it's just like, you know, he's just kind of grooving and he's like, yeah, you know. And he was very entertaining, jumping up on the drum riser a couple times and stuff, and definitely had a very cool groove and energy about them. Very charismatic frontman. I don't even know if he was meaning to. He's just one of those frontmen who, like, when I think of a good frontman, I think of, like, you know, first off, they have to be charismatic, you know. And he definitely is that. You got guys like Corey, you got guys like Dom from Out of My League. Like, they have this thing where when you're watching the band, you're focused on the frontman. In a perfect world, you want to look at everyone in the band and see what they're doing. That's like the perfect thing. But if the other members are just kind of hanging out and they're not really that energetic or whatever on stage, that's not necessarily a bad thing if they have that extremely charismatic frontman. And Jackson definitely delivers that. Very, very awesome. Their guitarist, Caleb, again, guys, I apologize, I'm mixing names up. I swear to God, that's the last time I'm going to say this. He has some serious skills on that 6-string, okay? I think there's definitely some serious shred ability there, because there was a few times where he took a solo and it was ripping. Really, really enjoyed it. He had some cool riffs. Their drummer, who his name escapes me, I apologize. I feel like a dick. If he's only been in the band for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or a month or whatever the hell, he has grasped everything extremely quickly, because all the songs they played were originals from what I could gather. and they were all very tight. They were all precise. Everything was the way it needed to be. Really, really enjoyed their set. Definitely have so much potential, considering they've only been a band for a few months. I will definitely be keeping my eye out on them, just because I was so impressed with the way they present their music. Really, really cool. And, I only talked to the vocalist just for literally a few seconds, but it seemed like a really good dudes as well. And that's what a couple of the other bands were saying. Oh, yeah, the Inside Out, yeah, they're all good guys. So definitely like to see that as well. It's one thing if you like the band, but then if you meet them and they're assholes, that always sucks, especially on the local scene level. But definitely check them out on Facebook. I think they might have some recordings up. I might be mistaken on that. I did a little bit of research, but I wanted to get this podcast out to you guys as quickly as possible. I didn't want to wait too long, so I wanted to just do the research kind of I needed and move on. But definitely an awesome band. Be sure to check them out. So the next band that we're going to talk about is a band that's, if you are listening from the Bowmanville area or Newcastle area, Curtis area, you know these guys very well. It was their second year in a row in the Battle of the Bands, and it was actually their second year in a row winning second place. And this band is Fear the Unknown. Now, just right off the bat, they killed it. Right before they went on stage, I know that a couple people were worried it was going to get a little crazy. And right before they went on stage, I saw Connor, their vocalist. He was kind of running around, and I was just like, "Oh, dude, like get up there and kill it. Just maybe make sure that your fans don't like kill each other, And he was like, "Yeah, dude, yeah." Fist bump, up he goes. I talked to Cody, the one lead guitarist, just very briefly, just because I know him a little bit. Well, not a little bit. I know Cody. And I was just like, "Yeah, dude, like just maybe keep it." I was a little worried. Because I know that how heavy they are, and I was like, dude, people are gonna lose their shit. And they just made little announcements to say, hey guys, maybe keep it cool. Don't love each other. Don't punch each other in the face or anything. And they kick into it, and holy shit, right out of the gate, tight. That band is a friggin' unit. Okay, like there's no holes in friggin' Fear of the Unknown, all right? Like, they are tight as hell, heavy as shit, okay? They took no prisoners. Literally, Connor walks up on stage. The second he walks up there, he is in control of that crowd, okay? They had the biggest crowd of the night for sure. A little bit of a home field advantage, I guess. You got to take that in consideration. But that even being said, he had complete control of that audience, okay? He had complete control over me that whole time he was up there, It was a couple times he was like, all right, jump, bounce. And I'm sitting there in my chair, like, kind of like, I got to be professional and all, unbiased. But I was like, bounce, bounce. And Anthony's sitting next to me just laughing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like losing it. And they just killed it. And his range, as far as his screams, he can go high and he can go really low and guttural, and it's just awesome. He's very talented. And even from the last time I saw them to now, again, like just light years better than he was. And he was awesome to begin with. So it's almost scary how good some of these bands are friggin' getting at the level they are at. It blows my mind. But Connor also, like, just as a clean singer, is really awesome. That's one thing I love about Fear the Unknown, the fact that they have these brutal parts, but then they'll have these really cool, like, good melodies, and there's a hook there, and it's good. It's really good stuff. The rhythm guitarist Mav, he kept definitely a steady assault of riffage throughout the night, while Cody, who kind of fills the role of the lead guitarist, he's a very talented guitar player. I have said this 100 times to him and Mav and the guys. I wish you guys would let him solo, like, a lot more. And guess what happened? He soloed. a shit ton, and it was pure like shred. And I was like, yes, like I knew he could. I mean, I wasn't surprised because I knew he had it in him to just shred. And I was like, yes, like there was one part. I can't remember the name of the song is escaping me, but he just kind of jumped up on one of the monitors and was just like, woo! Like he had this like little like minute and a half long like shred fest, and my face was melting. It was awesome. He was looking out at the crowd. I didn't know if he could see me, Cody. If you're listening, I didn't know if you could see me, dude. But I was bowing. I don't know if you could see me, but I was bowing to your greatness on the guitar. But the having that lead style of Cody definitely adds a nice twist to kind of their take on the metalcore genre. But also having the rhythm section they do when Adam and Nathan, bass player and the drummer, extremely tight. Just they lay down this foundation for Fear the Unknown that they can get as crazy as they want. They can pull it back if they need to. Both those guys can rip too. But they just they do what's right for the song, and I really dig that. There was one song, it was a new song, and Nathan kind of goes crazy in a good way for a little bit, a couple times. And I was like, yes, like it's awesome. But they played a full original set, a couple of their classic songs like Glass House and Snakeskin. I really liked seeing Glass House. Boys, I would have liked to have heard Termination, is what it is. I'll let it slide this time, boys, but I was definitely breaking Mav's balls about that when he told me that they weren't going to play it. He's like, oh, we got to cut a song, dude, and we're going to cut Termination. I was like, what? That's my favorite song, you dick. So I was not pleased about that, but they made up for it with the new tune. It's pretty awesome, pretty heavy. It was pretty funny when they announced and they were going to play the new song. It's really heavy. I turned to... I think Chris was there. Chris is like, oh, because like your whole set's been so light, right? Like now you're gonna play the heavy song. That was pretty funny. But Fear the Unknown are awesome. They fully deserved second place. Like I said before, guys, it was so tight as far as who was gonna take first. Fear the Unknown, it could have been anyone's game. You know what I'm saying? It was so close. But definitely keep an eye out for them guys. You can find them on their Facebook. Again, I'm going to put all the links in here and everything. So definitely go give them a like. Be on the lookout. I think they might be working on some stuff. Perhaps. Maybe some merch coming up and things of that nature. But definitely am going to have Mav on the podcast coming up. Hopefully in the next few weeks. So we'll talk to him then and kind of talk all more about that. But that's Fear the Unknown. The next band, that's the second last band of the night that was performing, that was competing. They were a very, very cool band. Right off the bat, they're a two-piece band. Now, not a lot of people have balls to be in a two-piece band. So right off the bat, I have nothing but the mad respect for these guys. I do not have the ball. I don't think I'd have the balls being a two-piece band. I really don't. I don't think I'm that good of a player. And these guys in Cleopatra, which is an awesome name. I dig that name. I heard a lot of hype about these guys, mainly from Brandon Hastings about Shine. He's really digging them right now. I heard a lot of hype. At the event, there was a lot of hype for these guys. A lot of bands were really looking forward to hearing them. And they did not friggin' disappoint, dude. Right out of the gate, the guitarist, singer, who unfortunately I didn't catch either of their names. I apologize. I feel like a dick for not remembering. He had this massive tone. Like they were sound checking and he hit a chord. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I couldn't believe it. I later kind of realized that he was running both his guitar amp and a bass amp simultaneously, which gave him this really cool tone, and he was switching back and forth, and it was really, really cool. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but he had this massive tone. There were times where I heard a bit of an Alice in Chainsy kind of vibe in there. I don't know if if he's inspired by Jerry Cantrell, but if he isn't, he should be, because he definitely has that some tonalities in there, and it was cool. And that's like literally basically the biggest compliment I can give, because Jerry Cantrell's my favorite guitar player. So that's about as big of a compliment as you can get from old TJ. But he had the riffs, like awesome riffs. Really was digging it. And his vocals were very awesome for their style. And the fact that he was keeping his vocals so tight and the music so tight while doing the switching, and he was riffing out and jumping around, having a good time. And I was like, damn, like that's very impressive. They really, really impressed me. They really blew me away. The drummer, who's, again, unfortunately I didn't catch his name. I apologize, Cleopatra. I feel like a dick for not remembering. The drummer, he kept an awesome groove. Really good heavy hitter. I really dug it. He was one of my favorite drummers of the night. They played all originals, and there were some real bangers in that set list. I know they have a lot of their music on online on their website, www.cleopatra.com. So definitely check that out. Very, very awesome. The crowd, they had some people there that obviously came to see them. They were big fans of them. They were really digging it. Like, it was really cool. There was this really cool kind of vibe around the whole place while they were playing. It was really, really cool. Definitely check them out, guys. I tried to find the guys after the show. I wanted to just kind of be like, oh, like, you guys were sick, you know. And also I heard they were really good dudes, so I wanted to just chat with them for a little bit. But shout out to those guys. Guys, I apologize for not getting your names. Again, I feel like a dick. But maybe we'll get a chance to chat next time I see you guys. I know they have a show coming up in Coburg, headlining the Coburg Indie Fest, so definitely check that out. You can find them on their Facebook or on the website that I gave earlier. Again, I will link everything down below or on the Facebook page. And last but not least, we come to the final band of the evening that was performing. And that band is a band that this is the second time I've seen them. They are an extremely entertaining pop-punk band fronted by the incomparable Lee Ibanez on guitars and vocals. Assisting him is his brother, Kyle Ibanez. Right off the bat, boys, how do you not play Ibanez guitars? Like, I know that's lame of me to say. Like, you guys have some awesome guitars, but, like, if I was you guys, I would totally be playing Ibanez guitars just so I could be, like, a total, like, mark about it. Just be like, yeah, that's my name on the guitar, bro. But those two dudes are seriously entertaining as hell. Like, there's talent there. There's musicianship there. Blah, 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 blah. I can talk about that all night. But they're entertaining as hell. Okay? Like, last time I saw them, Kyle was maybe not quite as, like, not outspoken, but, like, so what I'm looking for here. He was not maybe as upfront as he was. He totally took over a couple times, which was really cool. They also added a new drummer, which they made sure to make a big deal out of. Guys, have you ever seen one of these before? It's a girl drummer, which was cool. They were definitely the funniest band of the night. They killed it. There was a couple originals, couple covers. They always do great. They had two major pops of the night from me. The first one was when Lee was kind of running around the audience singing and stuff. And I know some people aren't into that. I don't know why. I think it's great. Entertaining as hell. He ran up to us at the judges' table, and he was serenading Anthony. He took his hand and was, like, singing to him, and it was just, I was losing it. I couldn't even, like, I was trying to keep a straight face and not, like, sell the fact that I was really enjoying that. And I just was losing it. I was like, Anthony, he's serenading you. Like, they have to win. And it was great. And he ran back up on stage, stopped to talk to a couple people and let them sing. And just when I thought, like, I'm like, okay, like, this is great, it got better. Halfway through a song, I can't remember what song it was. They were jamming out, and he just kind of said quickly, here's something you might know. And he sang a little bit from an Out of My League song, their song Loaded Gun. He sang a little, like, lyric from it, a little verse from it. And I, like, the second he started it, he was like, much bigger, I'm a loaded gun. I was like, he's fucking singing Out of My League. What? Like, what? And I turned to Anthony. Anthony's like, he's singing one of our songs. What the? Like, he was freaking out, and he turned to, like, find the other members of Out of My League. They were scattered all over the place. And he saw Ali just kind of, like, walking around. And he's like, dude, like, what? Like, are you hearing this? And, like, I don't think they really clued into what was going on. I think he repeated the verse a couple times. And it was great. It popped me big time. I thought it was hilarious. Definitely that band has so much charisma. That just is great. It's absolutely great. They also had a guitar player. I didn't catch his name, guys. I apologize. And I completely forgot the name of the drummer. I apologize, guys. I'm getting too carried away here. Leah Carey. She did awesome. I don't think she's been in the band a whole long time. But she really held it down. So very cool. Very impressed. I mean, the whole band was great. Their guitar player, really, really awesome. They did so great. Considering that they were the last band of the night, especially that they were before the headlining band Out of My League, that's a bit of pressure there, you know? And I think Chris knew they could handle it, and they handled it all right. And they ended off the night on a very, very good note. So big shout out to those guys. Be sure to check them out on Facebook at We Are X, the letter X Music. Again, I will tag them and everything in this. So definitely check them out, and be sure to keep up with everything going on with those guys, because they're very, very entertaining. I didn't really get a chance to chat with Lee at all or anything, but he's a good dude. He's a really funny dude. So definitely keep an eye out on them. And with that, we come to the end of the evening. So at this point, after We Are X played, myself and the other judges got up and we went into the room to hash out our decision. And I'm not going to really comment on that or anything, but it was definitely a not a hard conversation, because I think a lot of us were on the same page with some stuff. But as far as I would have loved to have seen every single band play, guys. Honestly, like every single band who was played that night: Cleopatra, The Inside Outs, Hometown Heroes, Circle of Circles. Like, all you guys deserved to place, because you were all awesome. I can sit here and talk about blah 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 blah, this and that, and why this decision was made or whatever. I'm not going to. It's not really my place. I may have my list, but that is what it is. No point talking about it. But all of you guys, like, I cannot stress this enough. You guys all should be so friggin' proud of yourselves, because you all killed it. And just come back next year, because doing it again and being able to see a bunch of you guys again would be awesome. I'm going to try and maybe catch some shows of a lot of those bands as well coming up, because there was some serious talent in there. Especially, I really dug Cleopatra. I really I'm going to keep my eyes on them and The Inside Outs as well, of course. Hometown Heroes, Circle of Circles, really, really awesome stuff. So big shout out to those guys again. If there's anyone at all in any of those bands who I didn't mention, whoever wants to come on the old podcast, I am but a humble guy who does this for fun. There's no pressure or anything of that nature. There's no sponsors, none of that crap. We just we hang out and we talk music, we talk life, talk about wrestling, talk about gaming, talk about everything under the sun. So that's that. So while we were kind of hashing out our decision, a lot of the bands were getting ready in that and anticipating Out of My League began to take the stage. And my whole thing was I wanted to be back out for Out of My League 6. I knew Anthony was going to have to leave halfway through our decision to start playing. And I said to the other judges, I said, I'm going to be out there for Out of My League set. Okay, I don't want to hear it. So we hashed things out. But I'll say it again, because I have said it 100 times on the podcast. Out of My League, fucking destroy. Okay? When I walked out, they were about halfway through Loaded Gun. And it was great. And I told them, I said, guys, if you play Spineless, I'm going to lose it. Okay? And guess what happened? They kicked in the Spineless and TJ lost it. I went to a corner and I just lost it because I knew, I'm like, I can't like lose it because I can't like mosh or anything. I was like, I'll flip a table over, like whatever. I was just losing it. Off all by myself, losing it in the corner, because that's just what I have to do. When you're a big guy and you're around a bunch of smaller individuals, you got to be careful when you're losing your shit because of an awesome track that's playing. But Out of My League closed everything out so great. For me, one of the best moments of the night was when they started playing the last song of their set, which is a song called Recover, which you guys would have heard on the Resented album review on the Harder Show here. Go back and check that out if you haven't. If for some reason you have not heard Out of My League's latest offering, Resented, or you haven't heard Recover, go listen. Okay? You can find the whole album stream on YouTube. You can buy it on iTunes. I highly recommend buying it on iTunes. It is worth every single penny. They were also selling physical copies, of course. But you can also hear Recover on the Harder Show on that album review. It's not an episode number. I just kind of uploaded it on its own. If you go back a few episodes, you can find it. Recover. I'm not just saying this. Recover is literally like one of the best songs I've ever heard. Beautifully written. I think they said it was the second time they ever played it live, but the first time they really played it with their backing tracks and stuff, like the strings on that. And it was beautiful. People in that crowd that maybe weren't like, Out of My League, they're a metalcore band, whatever the hell. I know there were some people in that audience that were like, holy crap, this is something special. I had tears welling up in my friggin' eyes. Like, I love that song. And they get into the bridge and Dawn. I was like, oh, it's awesome. But this podcast is not even Out of My League, so I'm going to pull it back here. Forgive me, guys. I'm going to pull it back. I just hit my mic stand. I apologize. There's a very loud mic stand. If I ever start flailing my hands around and stuff like I just was and I hit it, it makes a loud bang. I apologize if that was crazy loud. But after Out of My League destroyed everyone's face with their set, it was time to announce the winners, and very cool. I've talked enough about who placed and stuff, but something I wanted to emphasize again, guys, as I kind of get ready to wrap this up here. When I was on the stage and I announced the first place winners, I was trying to think of something really fun, and creative to say. And it just came out as that, guys, everyone needs to give themselves a round of applause because, seriously, this was, the hardest decision I've ever had to make. And it wasn't just my decision. There was 3 other people as well. So we're all going to agree to disagree and so forth on that. But it was a difficult thing to do. And every single band deserves respect. And every single band in some way, shape, or form deserved first place. So it was a very, very difficult, but at the same time, it was an awesome night. It was great for me to be able to announce that Beyond the Wall won. because I love those guys. They're awesome. For the unknown, Forsaken Empire, Stop This Train, We Are X. All you guys deserve the place you got. Absolutely awesome. But that all being said, every single band did so great. Well, guys, that is going to be it for me here today. I will definitely be looking forward to the next year's Battle of the Bands. Hope to see some familiar faces and all that kind of thing. So that is going to do it for me here today, guys, on this Battle of the Bands episode of the Harder Show. Yeah, episode 31. Very cool. I'm pretty pumped to the fact that I'm getting up there in episodes now. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream and everything. Quick shout out to my man, Mr. Jason Reese, over at Jaybird Digital Arts. Remember, guys, you guys need anything as far as logos or t-shirts, banners, posters, album covers, anything digital art related, be sure to check them out. You can find them on the web at www.jaybird, that's JAYBIRD, digitalarts.com. .ca. I think in the podcast I kept saying .com. I meant .ca. I am so sorry, guys. I make that mistake all the time. But Jason does awesome work. Really great stuff. He did all the stuff for the Harder Show, and he also originally designed the t-shirt that I debuted on the live stream, which was my surprise. And also a giveaway. He had a lot to do with that. So the t-shirt we're going to be doing a giveaway for and everything. So very cool. Remember to let me know if you guys want to pre-order a t-shirt. I'm only going to be making enough this round for people who pre-order, and obviously for the person who won, and for myself. So definitely let me know. I will be... I don't have an exact price at this exact second. I more just wanted to kind of get a feel out. The shirts are probably going to be anywhere from about $15 to $20. Might be leaning in a little bit more in the $20 range, just because of the quality of the shirt I'm going to be getting. So definitely keep an eye out for all that, guys, and let me know if you guys are interested. I really want to make this cool, make this something special for you guys. I live to entertain you. So thank you for clicking that play button on whatever medium you're listening to. You know, you can listen to The Harder Show on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on the YouTube. Be sure if you're listening on the SoundCloud to give me a follow and like this podcast here, this track. If you're listening on the iTunes, don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating. Let me know what you think. I always read all the comments and everything. I sincerely appreciate every single person who takes the time. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you taking even that few seconds to leave a rating and a comment for The Harder Show means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for that. So don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you are listening / watching, I guess, on the YouTube, don't forget to like or dislike this video. Never be afraid to dislike, too. If I do a podcast and you're like, man, DJ dropped the ball on this one, dislike the video, and I will know I dropped the ball on that one. And be sure to always comment. You can comment on everything. Comment on the SoundCloud, comment on the YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I've said, if there's any bands that listen to this podcast and they want to, if there's something I talk about, you want to kind of promote an album or promote a single release or anything like that, if you're in the band or whatever, even if you're not in a band and you want to be on the show and you want to talk about something, let me know. If we can't meet up and make that happen, we can do the Skype thing. I got that all figured out. So we will hang out. We will talk on The Harder Show, because that's what The Harder Show is all about. We are all about talking to entertain you, or you come on the podcast and you talk to entertain other people. Things like that. It is what it is. But guys, thank you all again so much for the continued support. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to listen, especially those who take the time to listen to every single episode. I sincerely appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for listening in today, and I will catch you guys next time on The Harder Show. Take it easy.